It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy, and my lovely assistant, Miss Callie. Oh! Come here, Miss Callie. Got tweets. Oh, we got little lips. Oh, these are cheesy gourmet doggy treats. Made these in our 100th episode. Cheesy and garlic. Oh, she likes these, don't you? So pretty. Say hello to everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Miss Callie. Yeah. Well, on today's episode, we've gotten a lot of requests for crockpot cooking, and that's what we're going to be doing today is crockpot cooking. So, what should we make, Callie Ellies? Let's see. I got one there, 2, 3. Ooh, lots of recipes to choose from. First of all, I'm going to be making, I'm having my open house as of the taping of the show. My open house at the studios is going to be on Thursday, March 7th. Yeah, from 5 to 7 p.m. So I'm going to bring these crockpot dishes into the studios for people to eat for free if you happen to be around, but this taping, it'll be over with by the time you see it on this show. But anyway, this is what I'm going to be doing in our show today is the crockpot cooking. And if we have time, I might do some other treat recipes too. It depends. But I want to concentrate on crockpot cooking today. So, first of all, of course, you have to spray your crockpots. That is very important. A lot of people forget to do that, including myself. I've gone through it. And it is so important to make sure that you spray this because cleanup is really hard when you get these ceramic things and you forget to spray because everything's baked in on there and you're scrubbing and soaking and it just, it's a pain in the butt. And so a lot of people don't do crockpot cooking because they don't like to clean out the crockpot. Well, just make sure you spray it and you won't have any problems. Very simple. And I like to sometimes, this one doesn't need it, but if I had those solid metal ones or even ceramic ones, I would take and spray that too. But what you want to make sure is you spray this lip on the inside of the crock pot, and that works out fine because you don't get all the crusties on the cover. So let's see now. I want to do red beans and rice, but I got to do a twist here. I'm going to use my sausage. I'm going to use Swedish Potato Sausage. And I got that thawed out. So we're going to have to cook this off. I love this stuff. Oh, when this is on sale only at Christmas time at Super Value here in Crystal. And I took and just bought the whole stack of them that they had in the freezer. And I shoved it in my freezer, so I got Swedish Potato Sausages out the whole year. I love this stuff. Oh, and they make the best. I've tried everybody's. The guy who makes this from scratch, he's wonderful. He makes the best. Anyway, so what I'm going to have to do is brown off my sausage. And you can take the casing off if you want to. That's totally up, that's totally up to you, how you want to do it. But I'm going to take and cut mine into little pieces, possibly just even into like little discs. And this is going to get all mooshed up anyway because it's not going to stay its shape. It's not like pre-cooked kielbasa or ring bologna or something where it's already pre-cooked and then your pieces stay together. This is the raw deal here. So you want to make sure you cook this thoroughly. It's like a bratwurst almost. I mean, the way it's, the meat is and stuff. So you want to cook this thoroughly. And I want to cut this up into this, but like I said, these are probably going to fall apart, which is fine, because then we'll have the ground sausage in there. But like kielbasa and all those other ones that are pre-cooked, they hold its shape then. And I'll just put that on like a medium high. I don't want it too high, I don't want to burn it. And I also going to have to be cooking my rice too at the same time. Ugh. Now, different recipes, different things, but I'm thinking in my head here, how much rice to cook. It's 2 to 1, whatever you want to do for rice. And I want to end up with about 2 cups of cooked rice. So I'm going to do just 2 cups of water, bring that to a boil, and add 1 cup of white rice. Oh, Callie, do we have any rice? Callie, I think it's time for Fibber McGee to clean out the closet one of these days. Got too many things in here, I can't see it. Now you older people know what I'm talking about. Fibber McGee and Molly, the old time radio show. Younger people younger than me, they don't get that joke. And I'm not old. I'm not old. When I was in junior high school, I used to rent out all the old time radio programs from the library. And I rented out every single one of them and listened to all of them. That was a lot. Hundreds and hundreds of them. And I just love those old time radio programs. Because I have an old Victrola. That's what my opening theme song is. It's from an old Victrola. I just love that era. And so I got hooked on listening to all those old time radio programs. But anyway, Fibber McGee and Molly was one of the shows. And let me see it's down here. The standing joke on the show was he has this closet, and every time you open it up, things come crashing out, boom, 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 and you can hear all the noise on the radio. I don't crash, crash noise. This isn't sound effects. And it was funny at the time, you know. That was their entertainment, listening to the radio. And so whenever he entered that closet, you know, it'd always fall. People would laugh. They look forward to it every week. Well, anyway, so when I open up something and it's all cluttered for me, I always make that pun about Fibber McGee. So if you don't know what, the younger generation doesn't know what I'm talking about, it was right over their head. But all the people who know about it, they can appreciate it. They like the joke. Because it was funny. It was a thing, you know, to listen to that radio program every week. So we're going to take and brown off these sausages. Let me put some of that in right now. Get this going. And like I said, this is probably going to all fall apart anyway, so it doesn't matter if the casing is on or not. It's all going to dissolve anyway when it gets cooked. And this is one of my recipes that it's freehand. I don't have everything written down. It's a little of this, a little of that, you know, handful of this, handful of that. But I'll try and get the recipe if I can, figure it out as we go along here. So my water is boiling, 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. And I'm going to enrich this. I'm just doing things as I go along here. I'm going to put in a little pinch of saffron into my rice. And that's going to give it a little golden yellow color, which will be kind of pretty. And it gives it a nice little flavor. Instead of just having plain rice water. That's another thing you can do too. When you ever cook rice, depending on what kind of dish you're making, add a little beef base or a little bit of chicken base to the water in the rice. And that's going to flavor your chicken, or your rice, I mean. Instead of having just plain white rice, if you want a little flavor, put a little chicken base or beef base. It makes a huge difference and it tastes wonderful. Okay, the rice needs to be covered and simmered for 20 minutes. And then I want to add 2 little onions to this. I'm going to dice these up. If you have a large onion, that's fine. I don't. I just got, you know, that mixed bag of 5-pound bag of all different sizes. I always get that one of onions. So you never know what you're going to get, what size. They're all different sizes. And then I'm going to dice this up into small pieces. Now with the sausage, remember this sausage, homemade stuff, they don't have any fat, hardly any fat in it. So I need to take and add a little bit of oil to that so it can start browning. And then I'm going to add 2 stalks of celery, dice this up. I always cut off the ends so I don't get that real hard fibrous pieces of celery. And you can dice it up into medium-sized pieces. You know, it's all on your own preference. If you want big chunks of celery. I usually do bigger chunks in like stews. And I like medium where I want to bite into it on the spoon, and then I'll mince it if I want to blend it into like a chicken salad or a tuna salad or something. So this is coming along fine. Now we'll just cook this off until that celery and onion are tender. That sausage is all done. That's all cooked. And in the crock pot, I'm going to put in a jar of my home canned tomatoes. This is a pint jar of my stewed tomatoes, which has celery, onion, and green pepper already in it. That's going to be good in there. Lids you can throw away. Save the ring. And then I'm also going to throw in a can of red kidney beans. Now these are the light ones and not the dark, but you can put in the dark, is fine. I didn't happen to have any dark ones in my cupboard. I thought I did. But they're still red beans. Recyclables. And then I'm going to put in, I'm not sure I want to do that whole thing. So I do have a little bit here left over. So I've got about a half a can of tomato paste. And that's going to help thicken it up so it isn't so soupy. And I'm also going to be putting in, to be different, a can of whole kernel corn and a can of black beans with the juices, because that rice is going to take and absorb everything. And see, another tip too is like whenever I open up cans, I only go to like a 1/4 inch gap at the end. Only because, well, that can come out. The reason being is because after you get done with your cans and you're going to throw it away, by being attached like this, folds right back inside the can, so that when you go and pick up your garbage, you're not going to get cut by the lid. A lot of people do that. They cut it all the way off, throw the lid in the garbage and the can. So when they go to pick up the garbage, the lid goes right through and cuts you right down the hand. Yes. So that's a nice safety tip. Just leave that 1/4 inch and just fold it right back inside. Ooh, this looks good, Callie. I wonder if we're going to have too much. I think this one's a little bit bigger. It looks it anyway. And then I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, if you don't want it that hot, then don't put in that much. You know, if you want it hotter, you can put in more. You know, it just balances out the way you want it. And then I'm also going to put in like about a ½ teaspoon of cumin, and that gives it a nice flavor. Gives it a little smoky flavor. I'm also going to stick in a teaspoon of garlic powder. Callie, this is really good. And then when the rice is all done, I'll just put that in there too. Okay, Callie, our beautiful, beauteous rice is done. Ooh, pretty yellow saffron rice. Ooh. And then we mix this all together with just enough rice. And if you don't have the saffron, you can just use plain white rice is fine too. I just did it because I wanted something a little different, a little special. But plain rice will work just fine. Okay, if we had some shrimps, we could have our jambalaya. And now all we got to do is heat this up thoroughly. And I'm just going to stick this whole thing right into the refrigerator. I don't need to start this up till tomorrow. But put it on high for about 4 hours or on low for about 8. And I'm going to put it on low because I work tomorrow, and I'll just put this in when I go to work. So then when I come home, it's all done and I can take it to the party. That's our, well, let me get a close-up what this looks like. I don't think, you won't see it when it's all done. And this here is my red beans and rice. Boy, don't that good and healthy? Whoa, very hearty. That'll stick to your ribs and fill you up. Mmm. Okay, now for our next crockpot recipe, we're going to be making Chicken Divan. Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. Sounds extravagant, but it is so simple to make. It is very easy, and I'm just adapting this recipe my way a little bit to change it, but it's still similar to the original. Anyway, what we're going to be using is, since this is a smaller pot, I did like about, let's say, I cooked off about 3 ounces of fettuccine noodles. And I'm just going to drain this off. Now with your fettuccine noodles, you don't want to cook these. I always like to cook my pasta al dente, which is firm to the bite. And that's what you want with this, but you don't. I mean, that's the way I always cook. But for this recipe, you don't, because the Crockpot's going to cook it more, and you don't want to end up with real mushy noodles. So I just got my cooked noodles in here, about, like I said, 3 ounces. And to this, I'm adding, I got some cooked chicken here that I peeled off from a whole chicken. And let's see, what do I got here? I'll probably put in about 2 cups of chicken. Like I said, my recipes, you can add more or less. You know, it depends on your personal preference. And let's see, Callie's sanitize. I always like to sanitize when I'm working with chicken. In the saucepan, I'm going to take and saute off the rest of my celery that I have in this bag here, and it's just a lot of leafy pieces. It has 2 stalks in there, and it has the hearts. So I'm going to dice all of this up. And we'll just start sauteing this off. And I want to put in a couple tablespoons of butter. Add my celery. She nappins. She naps during the daytime, plays at night, and gets into troubles. And I'm just going to do 1 small onion here. I don't need a lot of onion. It's not that big a pot. And dice this into small pieces. You don't have to mince it, but just small little pieces. Because like I said, we want this to fit on our spoon. Now the chicken I got in bigger chunks, because I just like to have big chunky chicken. I hate it when it's all ripped to shreds. Unless you're making like a barbecue pulled chicken sandwich. So we'll just cook down the celery and onion until it gets tender. Let's see. I'm not going to I want to do a little salt and pepper on the vegetables, but very little. I'm only doing like about just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt because I'm going to throw a can of cream of chicken soup into this, and that canned soup has a lot of sodium in it, so I don't want to really add hardly any salt, but I just want a little bit there to keep the juices flowing in the vegetables. Oh, just a sprinkle of black pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, now those vegetables are nice and tender. And I want to add a little white wine to that until they're covered. That's about a 1/2 cup. And I'm going to take and deglaze the pan with that. It smells good. And then we'll just pour this right into our chicken and pasta. And then to this now, we're going to add a can of cream of chicken soup to give it a nice rich flavor. And then I'm going to put in a cup of heavy cream. Oh, recyclables. Callie, we need another recycling bag. That one's full. Time to take out the garbage. And then we'll just mix this all together. Ooh. Oh, here she comes. She was stirring food. Oh, spying. Look at her. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Oh, spying. And you can take and put in broccoli, which is your normal thing. I'm going to take and just add some mixed frozen vegetables to this because I want to have more color in there. Oh, let's see how much we're going to put in there, Callie. Let's try a cup first. Callie. Don't think I can't see you. I'm paying attention. I can hear. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, now she's gonna run. That's our deone. And we'll sprinkle that with a little cheddar cheese on top. And I think I got some, yep. And I'll sprinkle just a few breadcrumbs on top. Nothing heavy, I don't want a thick crust, just, a little texture. And that's gonna be our chicken divan. Ooh, let's get a close up of this one, Callie. And this is our chicken divan. Oh, is that a pretty, isn't it, Callie? And then we can just heat this up and then put that, like I said, now for this same way, you want it on low for about 8 hours or on high for about 4. And it might even take less than 4 because they'll probably bubble up quite easily. This is all, both crockpot dishes are already pre-cooked, so we just need to heat them up. So I'm just gonna keep these on low for about 6 to 8 hours and on low. So then when I get home, they're all ready to go. Well, thank you for tuning into our show. We hope you got those crockpot recipes written down just fine. If not, you can always email me at thenorthwoodscookingshow@yahoo.com, and I'd be more than happy to email the recipes back. In fact, I have all my recipes in my folder and on my Yahoo account. So I have all the recipes in the past, so if you want any recipe, I can always email them to you. And I have all my episodes on YouTube and Facebook. Just go to YouTube in the search box on top, enter The Northwoods Cooking Show, click search, and all my episodes will pop up. I know there's like over 80 some recipes, over 80 some episodes. I didn't get into YouTube until about a third, halfway through the season, so I don't have all my earlier ones. But there's some really fun ones on there, so we hope you enjoy them. Callie Alex. Oh, there you are. Let's see who wrote us this week.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
That's a big one. It's a squirrel. Squirrel treat. Oh, a squirrel. A squirrel. Look at that. Oh, that's a big treat. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, and take paws. Oh, 2 paws at once. Oh, how nice. Oh. She probably won't be back for a year. Dear Uncle Roy, Miss Callie, do you have any tips or secrets on how to make a perfect boiled egg? Signed, Dan of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Oh, hello, Ann Arbor. We got a lot of college kids watch us there. Hello, everybody. Yes, Dan, boiled eggs. The way to make perfect boiled eggs, I've said this before, is if you take your eggs out of the refrigerator and they're cold, you put them in your pot of cold water. Don't put them in a pot of hot water, they'll crack on you. And then they split open on you and leak. And so what you want, cold eggs in cold water, turn it on high. When it comes to a boil, time it for exactly 10 minutes and you get perfect eggs every time. After the 10 minutes, dump out the water, leave the eggs in there, and then fill it with cold water and just set the faucet on a trickle so that the cold water runs continuously but at a slow pace so you don't waste a lot of water. And just keep them in there until until the eggs are the temperature of the water. And then you can just crack them right away and they slide right off real easily. Also, another way too is if you're boiling eggs and you don't happen to have a timer on you and you're kind of guessing at it, if you take an egg out and spin it on the countertop and it stands up without wobbling a lot, it stands up and starts spinning in place, that tells you that it's done. Now, even if it's overcooked, it's still going to take and spin like that. But if you spin it every so often, you can time it as to when it's wobbly until it starts standing up on its own and it starts spinning like that. Because as soon as it starts spinning, standing up, then it's done, it's cooked. And then you can take it off and do the water thing again too. So, hope that answers your questions, Dan. And from Miss Callie and I. Did you eat that one? Another treat? Come here.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Where's a birdie? A little birdie, small one. Come here. Gotta say goodbye. Can't just take off, eat and run. Get away. From Miss Callie, Allie, and myself, we want to say eat healthy, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Bye-bye, everybody. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Water your face with sunshine.